You've been told for years that walnuts are a miracle food. The ultimate brain booster, a little powerhouse for your heart, nature's perfect snack, especially as you navigate your health after 60. And in many ways, that's true. But what if I told you that the way most people eat them is silently sabotaging their health, undoing all the good and, in some cases, creating dangerous new problems? It's a shocking truth that most doctors don't have time to explain, and it's turning this supposed superfood into a hidden threat for millions. These aren't rare, exotic mistakes. These are 5 common, seemingly innocent habits that could be impacting your bone density, your blood pressure, and even the effectiveness of your prescription medications. You absolutely must understand these risks. Stay with me through this entire video because the 5th mistake is the one I see most often in my practice, and it's the one that could have the most serious consequences if you're on certain common medications. 99% of people will miss this, and they'll never understand why this healthy food isn't working for them. Let's make sure you're in the 1% who knows the truth. Portion deception. Let's start with the most common trap, the one that feels the most unfair. It's the simple act of reaching into that bag of walnuts for a healthy snack, and then reaching in again, and maybe one more time for good measure. You think, it's a walnut, it's good for me, and this is what we call the health halo effect. We see a food as virtuous, so we believe the normal rules of quantity don't apply. But with walnuts, especially after 60, this is a profound and dangerous mistake. You see, a walnut is a marvel of nutritional density. It's packed with healthy fats, protein, and micronutrients. But density is the key word here. A single serving of walnuts is just about 1/4 of a cup, which is roughly 7 whole walnuts. Let me repeat that because it's important, 7. That small handful holds about 190 calories and 18 grams of fat. Now, it's healthy fat, the kind your brain and heart love. But your body's metabolism, especially as it matures, doesn't give a free pass to calories no matter where they come from. Think about it this way. If you mindlessly snack on just a half cup of walnuts a day, which is so easy to do while watching television or reading a book, you're adding nearly 400 extra calories to your diet. Over a week, that's almost 2,800 extra calories. That's nearly a full pound of weight gain in just over a week from a health food. For those of us managing our weight to protect our joints, to keep our blood pressure in a healthy range, or to manage blood sugar, this unintentional weight gain can be devastating. It puts more strain on your knees, your hips, and your heart. It's a cascade of consequences, all starting from an innocent-looking bowl of nuts. But the danger goes deeper than just calories. Inside these beautiful, brain-shaped nuts lies a compound that very few people talk about: phytic acid. Phytic acid is what's known as an anti-nutrient. It's part of the plant's natural defense system, designed to protect its precious minerals until it's time to sprout. The problem for us is that when we eat it, it does the same thing inside our bodies. Phytic acid binds to essential minerals in your digestive tract, specifically calcium, zinc, and iron, and blocks your body from absorbing them. Now, why is this critically important after the age of 60? Your bones, your immune system, your energy levels. Calcium is the absolute cornerstone of bone density. As we age, our risk for osteoporosis and fractures skyrockets. You might be diligently eating your leafy greens, maybe even taking a calcium supplement. But if you're consuming large quantities of walnuts, the phytic acid can act like a thief, stealing that calcium before your body gets a chance to use it to fortify your bones. Zinc is crucial for a robust immune system, helping you fight off infections and for wound healing. Iron is vital for carrying oxygen in your blood and preventing the deep draining fatigue of anemia. When you overconsume walnuts, you're not just adding calories. You could be actively depleting your body of the very minerals you need most at this stage of life. It's a cruel irony. You're eating something for your health, but you're inadvertently creating a mineral blockade. This is the portion deception. The belief that more of a good thing is always better. When it comes to walnuts, more can be much, much worse. The key is moderation. 7 walnuts. See it as a potent medicinal dose of nutrition, not a bottomless snack. That single shift in perspective can protect your bones, your waistline, and your overall vitality. That's the Palmos sources scrutiny. Now let's move on to the second mistake, which is just as critical but often completely overlooked. It's not just about how many walnuts you eat, but which walnuts you eat. The source, the quality, and the preparation of the nuts you bring into your home can mean the difference between a life-giving superfood and a pro-inflammatory agent of harm. First, let's talk about the enemy hidden in plain sight: rancidity. Walnuts are incredibly rich in delicate, polyunsaturated fats, particularly omega-3s. These are the fats that are famous for reducing inflammation, supporting brain health, and protecting your heart. But their delicate nature is a double-edged sword. When exposed to heat, light, and oxygen, these healthy fats oxidize. They go rancid. When you eat rancid fats, you are consuming a flood of free radicals. Think of free radicals as tiny destructive sparks bouncing around inside your body. They damage your cells, your DNA, and your arteries. This process creates systemic inflammation. And for anyone over 60, inflammation is the great enemy. It's the smoldering fire behind arthritis, pain, heart disease, cognitive decline, and so many other age-related conditions. You're eating walnuts to fight inflammation. But if you're eating rancid ones, you are literally adding fuel to the fire. So how can you tell? Your senses are your best guide. Open a bag of walnuts. They should smell mildly nutty and sweet. If you get a whiff of anything sharp, bitter, or something that reminds you of old paint or oil paint, that is the smell of rancidity. The fats have gone bad. Do not eat them. Throw them away. It's not worth it. The taste will also be off, unpleasantly bitter and harsh. To protect your walnuts, buy them from a store with high turnover, preferably from the refrigerated section. Once you get them home, store them in an airtight container in your refrigerator, or even better, your freezer. This dramatically slows down the oxidation process and keeps those fragile fats safe and healthy. The second part of this mistake is falling for the marketing gimmicks. Walk down any snack aisle and you'll see them. Honey roasted walnuts, salted walnuts, candied walnuts, chocolate-covered walnuts. They are marketed as a healthier indulgence, but they are nutritional traps. The added sodium in salted varieties is a direct threat to your blood pressure. As we age, our bodies become more sensitive to sodium, and maintaining healthy blood pressure is one of the single most important things we can do for our long-term health, protecting our heart, kidneys, and brain. And the sugar. The candied and honey-roasted versions are a disaster for blood sugar regulation. They take a food that is naturally low glycemic and turn it into a candy that can spike your glucose levels, leading to an energy crash and, over time, contributing to insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. You're trying to do something good for your body, but the sugar and sodium are hijacking all the benefits of the walnut itself. It's like putting a high-performance engine into a car and then filling the tank with sugar water. It just doesn't work. Your rule of thumb should be simple and non-negotiable. Raw, unsalted walnuts only. That's it. You want the nut in its purest, most unadulterated form. That is where the power lies. By being incredibly selective about your source, ensuring your walnuts are fresh and storing them properly, and by rejecting the processed, coated versions, you are guaranteeing that you receive all of their incredible anti-inflammatory, brain-boosting benefits without any of the hidden, pro-inflammatory, and disease-promoting downsides. It requires a little more diligence, but your body will thank you for it. Thus, pairing problems. We've talked about quantity and quality. Now we need to discuss a more subtle but equally important concept: context. What you eat with us. Your walnuts can either amplify their benefits or completely negate them. This is the mistake of improper pairing, and mastering this can transform the way your body uses this powerful food. Many people, in an effort to be healthy, will grab a large handful of walnuts and eat them alone as a mid-afternoon snack. On the surface, this seems fine. But remember how we talked about walnuts being a dense source of fat and calories? When you eat them by themselves, especially in a larger quantity, you're sending a very concentrated load of fat and calories into your system all at once. For some people, particularly those with a sensitive digestive system, this can be hard to process, leading to a feeling of heaviness or even indigestion. But the bigger issue is about synergy. Food doesn't work in a vacuum. Nutrients interact. The goal is to build a team on your plate where every player makes the others better. The perfect teammates for walnuts are fiber and protein. When you pair walnuts with a high-fiber food, like a sliced apple, a bowl of oatmeal, or a handful of berries, you change the entire metabolic equation. The fiber slows down the digestion of the entire meal. This means the fats and calories from the walnuts are released more slowly into your bloodstream, providing you with steady, sustained energy instead of a quick hit. This is profoundly important for blood sugar balance. The fiber acts as a brake, preventing any potential impact on your glucose levels and keeping your energy stable for hours. An apple with 7 walnuts is an infinitely more balanced and powerful snack than a quarter cup of walnuts on their own. The apple provides fiber and hydration, while the walnuts provide healthy fats and protein that keep you feeling full and satisfied. This prevents the blood sugar roller coaster that can lead to cravings, fatigue, and over the long term, more serious metabolic issues. We can also use pairing to overcome some of the walnut's inherent challenges, like the phytic acid we discussed earlier. Remember how it can block mineral absorption. Well, some nutrients can help counteract this. For instance, vitamin C has been shown to enhance the absorption of iron. So, pairing your walnuts with a food rich in vitamin C, like a few orange slices or some bell pepper strips, can help your body absorb more of the iron present in your meal. It's a simple, strategic way to outsmart the anti-nutrient. On the flip side, you want to avoid pairing walnuts with the wrong things. The most obvious mistake is adding them to an already high-sugar dish, like a sugary breakfast cereal or a rich dessert. Doing so just adds a heavy caloric load to an already unhealthy item. You're not making the dessert healthy, you're just making it more calorically dense. You're far better off using walnuts to make a healthy meal more satisfying. Sprinkle a few chopped walnuts over a Greek yogurt parfait with berries, or toss them into a vibrant salad with a lemon vinaigrette. Think of it this way: your 7 walnuts are a potent supplement. How do you want to deliver that supplement to your body? On its own, it's good, but paired with fiber, it becomes great. Paired with other whole foods, it becomes part of a symphony of nutrition that supports your energy, your digestion, and your long-term health. Never again just grab a handful of walnuts. Always ask yourself, what can I pair this with to make it better? An apple, a pear, a sprinkle on my morning oatmeal? This small shift from eating in isolation to eating in combination is a hallmark of true nutritional wisdom. Eat dandas, preparation pitfalls. This next mistake is something that perhaps less than 1% of the population knows about. And it's a practice that has been used by traditional cultures for centuries to unlock the full nutritional potential of nuts and seeds. The mistake is eating walnuts straight out of the bag without any preparation, specifically without soaking them first. This might sound strange or like a lot of extra work, but I want you to hear me out, because the science behind this is fascinating, and the benefits, especially for a mature digestive system, are immense. Let's return to our friend, phytic acid. We've established that this anti-nutrient binds to minerals and prevents their absorption, but it does something else too. It inhibits the enzymes in our digestive tract. Enzymes like pepsin, which is needed to break down protein, and amylase, which is needed for starch. For many people, this enzyme inhibition is the reason nuts can feel heavy in the stomach or cause gas and bloating. Your digestive system has to work overtime to break them down. As we age, our natural production of digestive enzymes tends to decline anyway. So when we consume a food high in enzyme inhibitors, we're putting an extra strain on a system that may already be struggling. This can lead to discomfort, poor digestion, and most importantly, not getting the full nutritional value from the food you're eating. But here is the simple, elegant solution. Soaking. When you soak walnuts in water, you are essentially mimicking the process of germination. You are signaling to the nut that it's time to sprout, to come alive. This signal deactivates the phytic acid and the enzyme inhibitors. The nut, in essence, lets down its defenses, releasing its stored nutrients and making them readily available for you to absorb. The process is incredibly simple. Take your raw, unsalted walnuts and place them in a glass bowl. Cover them with warm, filtered water and a pinch of sea salt. The salt helps to activate the enzymes that break down the phthalates. Let them sit on your counter for about 4 to 8 hours. You'll notice the water becomes murky and brown. That is the phytic acid and tannins leaching out of the nuts and into the water. It's visual proof that you are removing the compounds you don't want. After they're done soaking, drain the water and rinse the walnuts thoroughly. They will be softer, plumper, and have a much milder, less astringent taste. You can eat them right away, or you can dehydrate them to make them crispy again. This can be done in a dehydrator or in your oven on its lowest possible temperature setting for several hours until they are completely dry. This is important because any remaining moisture can lead to mold. Once they're dry and crispy, you can store them in an airtight container in the fridge. I know this seems like an extra step. In our fast-paced world, we want everything to be instant. But I want you to reframe this not as a chore, but as an act of profound self-care. You are taking a few extra minutes to unlock the full life force of your food. You are making it easier for your body to digest, easier for your body to absorb those critical minerals like calcium and zinc, and you are removing the compounds that can cause digestive distress. For anyone who has ever felt bloated or uncomfortable after eating nuts, this can be a complete game changer. It elevates the walnut from a simple food to a bioavailable, nutrient-dense medicine. This is how you get the absolute most out of every single walnut you eat. Bookworth Medical Mysteries. We have now arrived at the final and arguably the most critical mistake. This one doesn't have to do with calories, quality, pairing, or preparation. It has to do with the complex and unique biochemistry inside your body, specifically the way walnuts can interact with common medications prescribed to adults over 60. Overlooking this can be a truly dangerous, even life-threatening error. Millions of older adults are on life-saving blood-thinning medications such as warfarin, also known as Coumadin. These drugs work by carefully interfering with the body's vitamin K-dependent clotting factors to prevent dangerous blood clots that can lead to a stroke or heart attack. The dosage is meticulously calibrated for each individual, and a key part of managing this therapy is maintaining a consistent intake of vitamin K from your diet. Sudden spikes or drops in vitamin K can throw this delicate balance off, making your blood either too thin, increasing bleeding risk, or not thin enough, increasing clotting risk. Here's where walnuts enter the picture in a surprising way. While they aren't one of the highest sources of vitamin K like kale or spinach, they do contain a moderate amount. A single ounce of walnuts has about 2.8 micrograms of vitamin K. Now, if you consistently eat your 7 walnuts a day, your doctor can account for this in your dosage. The danger lies in inconsistency. If you suddenly decide to go on a health kick and start eating large handfuls of walnuts every day, after previously eating none, you are significantly increasing your vitamin K intake. This could potentially interfere with your medication's effectiveness, thickening your blood, and increasing your risk of a clot. But the complexity doesn't stop there. Walnuts are also a very rich source of omega-3 fatty acids, specifically ALA. Omega-3s are celebrated for their heart benefits, partly because they also have a mild blood-thinning effect. So now you have a single food that contains 2 different compounds that can influence blood clotting in different ways. For someone on a prescription anticoagulant, this creates a confusing and potentially volatile situation. A sudden change in your walnut consumption could pull your clotting factors in 2 different directions, making your levels unpredictable and unsafe. This is not a reason to be afraid of walnuts. It is a powerful reason to be informed and to communicate with your doctor. If you are on warfarin or any other blood thinner, you must speak with your healthcare provider before making any significant changes to your diet, including adding a daily portion of walnuts. It's not about avoiding them. It's about incorporating them consistently and safely so your medication can be adjusted accordingly. Knowledge and consistency are your greatest allies. The potential for interaction extends to other medications as well. Because of their high fiber content and their ability to affect blood vessel function, walnuts can also have an impact on blood pressure and blood sugar levels. If you are on medication for hypertension or diabetes, a sudden large increase in walnut consumption could potentially enhance the effect of your medication, which might sound good, but can be dangerous if it leads to blood pressure that is too low, hypotension, or blood sugar that is too low, hypoglycemia. The message here is one of respect for the power of both food and medicine. We often think of them as separate, but they are constantly interacting within our bodies. Walnuts are not just a snack, they are biochemically active. They have the power to influence the very systems that your medications are designed to manage. The mistake is not eating walnuts, the mistake is doing so in ignorance, without consulting the medical professional who understands your unique health profile. Before you start or significantly change your intake of any so-called superfood, have a conversation with your doctor or pharmacist. It's a simple 5-minute discussion that can protect your health and ensure that your food is working with your medicine, not against it. So to Tseng, final thoughts. So, we've journeyed through the hidden world of walnuts, a food we all thought was so simple. We've uncovered the portion deception, the importance of source scrutiny, the power of proper pairing, the ancient wisdom of preparation, and the critical need to understand their medical implications. My goal today was not to scare you away from this incredible food. It was the opposite. It was to empower you, to give you the knowledge to transform the walnut from a potential saboteur into one of your most powerful allies for a vibrant, healthy life after 60. True health isn't about blindly following headlines that label a food good or bad. It's about understanding the nuance. It's about knowing that how you eat is just as important as what you eat. By embracing moderation, that simple handful of 7 walnuts, you get all the benefits without the caloric burden. By choosing fresh, raw nuts, you ensure you're fighting inflammation, not fueling it. By pairing them intelligently with fiber, you create balanced, sustained energy. By taking the small, mindful step of soaking them, you unlock their full nutritional potential and protect your digestion. And by respecting their potent biochemical nature and speaking with your doctor, you ensure they work in harmony with your body and your medical needs. This is the path to true wellness. It is mindful, it is intentional, and it is personal. You are the steward of your own health, and now you have the tools to make walnuts work for you, not against you. Which of these mistakes were you most surprised to learn about? For me, it was the soaking. I had no idea. Going to try it tonight. Let's share what we've learned and help each other in the comments below.